Welcome everybody to No Gathering Required. My name is John, and I'm going to go over my upgrades for the Hearthhull Precon commander named World Shaper. Now, there were several things taken out. The first thing you do when you upgrade a Precon is you take out lands because lands need to be upgraded in Precons. They don't make them up to snuff. First thing I'm taking out is Immunian Hatchery, a mountain, a swamp, a forest, sheltered thicket, Carplusian Forest, Waste, Llanowar Waste, Festering Thicket, Viridian Bog, Twilight Mire, Mountain Valley, Rocky Tar Pit, Myriad Landscape, and Sulphuric Springs and Canyon Slough. Now we took these out because obviously we're gonna have better, faster lands put into the deck. It's a no-brainer, really. Now the lands I put in to replace these, much better. Rootbound Crag, Commercial District, Raucous Theater. The surveil lands are really good. Smoldering Marsh, Dragon Skull Summit, Haunted Ridge, Blazemire Verge, Exotic Orchard, Zeator's Proving Ground, Wooded Foothills, Bloodstained Mire, Deathcap Glade, Wastewood Verge, Undergrowth Stadium, Woodland Cemetery, and also a Dryad Arbor. They all count for lands, easy to sack, but really good to use as well. Next, we're going to go into the creatures I removed from the deck. So I removed Emudium Wasteland. It kind of doesn't fit the theme of the deck, I would say. Whenever this creature attacks you, defending player each discard a card and sack a permanent. You draw a card for each land put into the graveyard this way. There's no guarantee that somebody's going to discard a land, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to sack a land at that moment. And it's also a 4-drop, and there's much better stuff to do that. Mazurek Crawl Death Priest. It is good, but it's just a buffing thing. It just buffs each creature you control, and we kind of moved away from buffing things and moved more into sacking and recurring lands is what we moved into. Next thing I took out was World Breaker. When you cast this, exile a target artifact, enchantment, or land. Now this is it's a 7-drop big creature that just exiles something when it enters, and you can pay 3 and sack it. I think it's just too expensive for the deck, honestly, for what it does. It's removal, but it's not the best removal you could possibly have. Next thing we took out was Oracle Moldiah. Now like I said, we are focusing on playing lands from the graveyard. This is more specifically playing them from the top of your library, which doesn't work all the time. And also, this deck is not very creature heavy, so you may never get that trigger off of Oracle Moldiah. Put Tireless Tracker out, take that out of the deck. Whenever a land you control enters, investigate. Now, you could sack clues and stuff, but like I said, we moved away from the aristocratic kind of style and more into the focusing strictly on Hearthhull. And Tireless Tracker works better with decks that have less card draw. When you have card draw like Hearthhull as your commander, you're good. Took out God Eternal Bantu. When it enters, sacrifice any number of permanents and draw that many cards. It's good, but it's a 5-drop, and it just kind of cycles itself back into the graveyard. I think we took out because it kind of focuses more on the sacrifice theme. And if we're going to be sacrificing, we want it to be our commander that does it, because it gives us the extra land and 2-card draw. Next thing we took out was Satyr Wayfinder. We just put in better ramp in the deck. And it's just, we put in a way to look at your top of your library easier and better than Satyr Wayfinder, so that's why it came out. And then we also took out Urg Spawn a Turg. It surveils one and it allows you to sacrifice lands. The problem is since we're taking lands out of the graveyard and putting them back onto the battlefield, it's going to usually be a 0/5. It won't benefit that much, and we have much cheaper ways to sacrifice lands than that. So those were the creatures we took out of the deck, and these are going to be the creatures that we're throwing into the deck. First one is Famished Worldshire. It has Devour Land 3, easy way to sack lands, easy. And then you can also put any number of land cards from your hand from top of your battlefield onto the top of your library onto the battlefield. So I mean, it's not only is it ramping you, it's also allowing you to sack lands, and I mean, it still has Ward 3, and it's pretty solid. Next, we're going to be putting Toph Earthbending Master. The Landfall Earthbend combo, going with a deck where you're sacking lands constantly and they come right back to the battlefield, is really beneficial. Putting Ancient Green Warden in, you can play lands from the graveyard, and a land entering the battlefield causes a trigger ability. That just makes Hearthhull into a threat and a half. That final ability on Hearthhull, whenever you sack a land, each opponent loses 2 life. That triggers twice from that. That's going to be amazing. Put a Badgermole Cub in. At least it's a mana dork for 1, but if you keep that and the Toph out at the same time, you're making all kinds of mana dorks. And not to mention, it's just a good card. Go put Scoot Swarm in as well. Got to add a little bit more tokens in here to defend because we took a few creatures out. We got to buff it up a little bit more. We also put Ranu Map Excavator. You can play lands from your graveyard. That's a no-brainer with this deck, obviously. And then the Great Divide Guide, which each land creature you control, land and ally you control, so it's a mana dork on its own, but it also will make stuff like your land creatures that you make with Toph into mana dorks as well. Those are all the creatures that we added to the deck. Let's go on over to the sorceries. Or we'll just go to the non-creature spells because there's not that much, really. So first thing we took out Blasphemous Act. I mean, board wipes are fun, but it kind of hurts you more in this deck than it does help you. Planetary Annihilation it sacks all but 6 lands. I mean, that just is so mean. That's just so mean to everybody. And we play more of a casual table, and it's just not that fun. Formless Genesis. Honestly, I think this doesn't fit the deck, like, at all. It's number of lands in your graveyard. We're taking lands out of the graveyard is one of our main themes of the deck so far. So I don't think that's going to be benefiting us. Hammer Perforos. I mean, I understand kind of why it was in the deck to begin with, to sacrifice the land. But other than that, it really was not that powerful, and it needed to come out. And then we also took out Beast Within, because there's just much better removal in the colors that we have. And giving them a 3/3 Beast when we're not going to have that many creatures is a very big negative for us. And then we're going to go into the non-creature spells that we added to the deck. So first one is Walk-in Closet, Forgotten Cellar. We're mainly going to use the Walk-in Closet side that lets you play lands for your graveyard. It's no-brainer. Go Tectonic Split, which lets you sack half the lands you control, and then lands also add for 3 mana, which is ridiculous. I know it's a big price, but you're going to have so much land in this deck that it's going to be fine. The Mending of Dominaria. It's a saga with the 3rd ability allows you to return all your lands from the graveyard to the battlefield and shuffle your library. That's amazing. That's so good in this deck. Next is Abundance. Every time you draw Hearthhull, you can choose a land or non-land, and it benefits you so much. It's so useful. It's good in every green deck, I would say. And then Scape Shift. Next, Scape Shift, you sack any number of lands and then search your library for that many lands and put them onto the battlefield tapped. It just works really well in this deck because you're sacking and getting lands back. So that was our upgrade for the Hearthhull Precon. Let me know what we need to add different, what we need to change about it. I know that this deck was really strong to begin with, but it can be upgraded several times. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.